We are just getting into cozy season, and this is one of those vlogs where you're gonna wanna grab a snack, get comfortable, get a cozy blanket or some fuzzy socks, and curl up. I really hope you guys enjoy it. I'm gonna be sharing some recipes. We're gonna make my favorite BBQ Jackfruit sandwiches, which are so delicious and easy to make. I'm gonna share some highlights from my trip to LA, some skincare products I've been loving, and I really hope that it gives you some good ideas. Thank you to Typology for teaming up with me, and let's get started. It is currently in the 90s here in New Jersey. It is super hot, and today is actually the hottest day. So I like to take advantage of the morning weather being a little bit cooler and go on a walk in the morning these days. I usually just go for a quick walk, but I find that even just a little bit of fresh air really lifts my mood and it makes me feel more awake. Love this mug. It's from Anthropology last year, and I'm pretty sure I've shown it in a video before, but this little indent for your thumb, it's just the cutest thing. And I'm gonna do quite a bit of work today, and then later tonight we're gonna make it's a Panera copycat recipe that I made last year, I think. Very similar to like pulled pork or barbecue pulled chicken. So I'm really looking forward to that. We just got back from LA, and you might remember that before I left, I made a summer list of things I wanted to do because I was feeling like summer kind of passed me by and I hadn't really had that sense of summer. I hadn't really savored it and enjoyed it. And I think one of the biggest things that I try to convey in my content, whether it's recipes, blogs, even like the pictures that I share on Instagram, I really want to show the appreciation and love I have and like the gratitude I have for the little things in life and those sweet, everyday, simple moments that really make life feel full and like you just feel like your day was like thoroughly lived in and appreciated, you know, because life can go by so quickly, especially because we're so busy, we're always doing things. And I find myself all the time, I'm sure you guys are the same way, thinking, even when I'm doing something, I'm thinking about like the next thing that I need to be doing. And time can just vanish when you are in that mindset. And I think these little tiny things, like even just a really good cup of coffee in a cute mug, small thing, but just a little moment of sweetness, you know, just kind of punctuates your day. And I really do try to share the things that I love in my content, and hopefully that encourages you guys, whether it's cooking yourself a meal or just appreciating the beauty around you when you go on your next walk. I think that it's such a passion of mine, and I hope that that comes through in my videos. This list was a way for me to be really intentional about appreciating summer and also trying to cultivate more of those little moments. I actually was able to do everything on the list. It was fairly simple stuff. One of those things was to go to the beach, which I did one of the days, and it was really nice. I brought my book, I laid out in the sun. I also spent a lot of time in the pool, and I haven't gone swimming in such a long time, so this was really nice. I also watched the movie It's Complicated and got inspired to make this DIY Orangina, which is just sparkling water and orange juice. I think the key is lots and lots of ice. It's so good. We did lots of grilling. We had Beyond Burgers, lots of watermelon, peaches, chips and salsa, ice cream cones, all the summer things. And I tried to eat outside as often as possible because I just love it. I also had a girls' night with margaritas and chips and salsa on my list. And we did that at a place called Hideaway in Beverly Hills. They have some great vegan options, and they had one of those cute push for tequila buttons by the table, which we all thought was funny. I went for a hike with my friend Taylor. I visited some of my friends, and we spent time with Nicholas's family. We had very fun, slow mornings where we would make breakfast like waffles and read books. I got lots of reading done, and one of my favorite parts, of course, was the summer tomatoes. We have to talk about the tomatoes. We had tomato sandwiches, of course, because that was on the list. Tomato sandwich on good sourdough bread. I did a lot of that. But one of my favorite things, and I'll put pictures right here, was Nicholas and I made a very, very simple tomato sauce. It was heirloom tomatoes with onions and garlic and basil. This was actually loosely inspired by a recipe that I saw on TikTok by this creator right here. She did it with these little cherry tomatoes, and it was not vegan what she did, but I kind of did a veganized version of that. So here's a rough recipe if you guys want to do something similar at home. I started by cutting up 8 very large tomatoes and set those aside, then sauteed an onion in about a tablespoon of olive oil. You want to do this on low heat for about 10 minutes. Low and slow is key. Then I added some garlic and the tomatoes with salt and pepper, and I let this simmer for about 20 minutes. It's going to be very liquidy because all of the juice from the tomatoes is going to eventually cook out and really concentrate and become flavorful. So you're gonna blend that all together and then add some vegan butter, Parmesan cheese, and basil. And then you're gonna add your cooked pasta and a little bit of the pasta water, and then toss and toss and toss over low heat until it thickens around the pasta. I'm really happy that I made this list, and it's definitely inspired me to make another seasonal list going into the fall. One thing that I recommend doing if you're gonna be making a list like this at the start of the season is to find out what events are going on in the next couple of months and see when they are happening and if you need to get tickets, because that's the kind of thing that gives you a little something to look forward to. I already have, there's a local harvest festival that's happening in September, so I already have that on my list. Some of the things on my list: make pumpkin bread, make pumpkin muffins, make apple muffins. They're not all food, but those are like, you gotta do that in the fall. My pumpkin chocolate chip recipe, one of my favorites. I made them so much last year, especially around Halloween time. Speaking of Halloween, I really wanna dress up for Halloween this year. I didn't do that in the last few years, and I wanna do something fun with Nicholas. I also have a go for a moonlight walk and look at Halloween decorations. I got this idea from Allison Bickerstaff when she was sharing her fall list, and I think that that's gonna be really fun because Hoboken is such a cute area, and I think it'd be really fun to go on an evening walk when it's kind of chilly and maybe bring some like tea or cider or something and go look at the spooky decorations. I don't love scary stuff, but I feel like that would be really fun. I'm still working on my list, and I'd love to know if you guys have any suggestions. So let me know what's on your list in the comments below. I'm gonna go water those plants because they definitely need a little bit of water. I'm going to change the filter in the refrigerator because it's been flashing red at me, which is probably not good. So I gotta take care of that, and then I'm gonna get some work done, and I will see you guys at dinner time for our barbecue sandwiches. Since I was sitting at my desk for most of this day and that wouldn't be that entertaining for a vlog, I decided to film my skincare routine earlier on this day to show you some of the products I've been loving. I'm gonna do my skincare routine. I've been really trying to take care of my skin recently because I have some hormonal breakouts and my skin tends to be a bit congested. So really paying attention to the products that I'm using has made a world of difference. Right now, I just have some sunscreen on my face because I went on a quick walk. To be honest, I woke up and I was kind of grumpy this morning, but I feel like whenever I'm kind of in a funk, there's one of two ways that I can go. I kind of ask myself, like, is it that I need rest? Am I burning the candle from both ends and I need more rest time? Or is it that I need to just rely on my habits and routines and push through and know that progress leads to momentum and go that route? And really, you are the only one who knows which one is going to be right for you. And today I really feel like it's the rely on your habits and gently push through, because there's so much that I do want to get done. I just feel a little bit blah. So I think putting myself together, getting some movement this morning, just doing the little things that I know will build momentum and get me motivated is exactly what I need. So I went on a walk, I stretched a little bit, I had a good breakfast, all of that really helped. And now I'm gonna do my skincare routine. So first I'm gonna wash my face, and then I will show you the serums that I use. And actually, I think I'm gonna do a hydrating mask. I feel like these are the little extra things that I don't normally do in the morning, but because I'm trying to boost my mood, I feel like it will make a difference. The mask that I'm using is by Typology. This is a French skincare line, and I've been using a few of their serums pretty much every day recently. Everything they make is vegan and cruelty-free. I'm gonna rinse this mask off in a second. It's starting to feel a little bit tacky. It doesn't fully dry and get like hard like a clay mask does, but it does just sort of dry out a little bit, and that's kind of when you know it's a good idea to wash it off. And my favorite way to do that is to take a hot towel and just place it on my face. The warmth just feels so good. It's like instantly relaxing, and I hold it there for maybe like 20 seconds or so and then finish rinsing it off. But it's just a really nice way to prep the skin for serum and moisturizer after that. And this is also really good for helping with hyperpigmentation and discoloration. It's also just very nourishing for the skin and protective. So I use this morning and night if I'm not using the glycolic. So I rub this all over my face, and I like to give it about a minute to let it dry. If I have any active acne, which I do right now, I've got this, and this, I will put a spot treatment on that, let it dry. It's really easy to get overwhelmed when you go online and you look at all these skincare videos and people have so many different products, and I feel like they can get really expensive and you're not even sure if that's exactly what you need, if it's even going to make a difference. And so the whole thing can be a little bit stressful. And what I liked about Typology, and the reason I wanted to try them a while back, was because their whole thing is that they have a skin diagnostic quiz. It takes like 4 minutes when you do it online, and then based on that test, they give you their recommendations for an AM and PM skincare routine based on what your skin actually needs. So they have a ton of different options. Their line is huge. They even have like cosmetics, like a tinted serum and a tinted lip oils. The colors look so pretty, and mascara. I definitely want to try those next. But when you look at their range, you know, it's like, what do you need? Where do you start? Start with the test and let them make recommendations, because that's how I found these two serums. The first one is one that I only use a couple times a week, but it has glycolic in it and it helps to just naturally and gently exfoliate my skin. So I do this a couple times a week after washing my face in the evenings. I'll probably use it tonight, so I'll probably do that later. I also recommended a spot treatment for these because a lot of the times, like, I get a pimple and it's red. The pimples here are mostly gone. I only have this right here, but it still looks like I have more acne than I do because they leave a red mark. So I also have a treatment from Typology that was recommended to me to put just directly on the spots to help reduce the discoloration over time. If you guys want to try Typology, there's a link in the description box below. Take the skin diagnostic test and find out which products are best suited for your skin type, and I really hope you guys enjoy it. This recipe is going to be linked in the description box below. It is always on my blog, nikkivegan.com. And if you're ever looking for one of my recipes, you can go to the little search bar up at the top and type in like jackfruit, for example, and then this would come up. Or you could type in barbecue or sandwiches or Panera, because this is actually a veganized version of a really popular chicken sandwich from Panera. So to make it, we're just going to go ahead and finely dice some onion. I'm going to just roughly chop it into quarters and then put it into my little veggie chopper. I saute the onions until they are translucent and fragrant, and then I add some crushed garlic. I love using this little garlic press. It makes it so easy. Then I'm going to add my jackfruit and these spices. The poultry seasoning helps to mimic those chickeny flavors. And then we've got some smoked paprika, which adds a nice depth, and some chili powder as well. This is all going to lend itself to those really nice barbecue flavors. I mix this really well, add a little bit of brown sugar to balance out the acidity of the jackfruit, and then top this with a little bit of barbecue sauce. We're going to do this in 2 stages. So the first step is to simmer with barbecue sauce and a little bit of water. And you're going to simmer so that it really absorbs into the jackfruit. And then later we're going to put it in the oven and really dry it out and kind of get like nice charred, crispy edges. That's the trick to really, really good, not mushy jackfruit. So I just let that simmer on low heat. And in the meantime, I just took some shredded Brussels sprouts and I added olive oil, garlic, salt, and pepper. I did garlic powder for this. And one of my favorite tricks for Brussels sprouts is to actually put them on a hot pan. So when I'm preheating the oven, I put a pan inside. If you watch my evening routine video, then you know that most nights I like to prep dinner and get it almost ready, and then I will pause and take a break to either shower or wash off my makeup, do my skincare routine, put on my PJs so that we can watch a show with dinner, relax, chill, and enjoy the night once I'm already like in comfy clothes. So I mean, I'm in kind of comfy clothes today, but you know, PJs. So I'm going to wash off my makeup, and then instead of the vitamin C that I used this morning, I'm going to use this glycolic acid serum. This is glycolic acid 10%, and it also has mastic tree extract, and this just helps to gently exfoliate and tighten the pores. Then I will moisturize, put on pajamas, and it will be dinner time. I also like to use this nail serum on my nails and cuticles around bedtime, especially if I've just gotten out of the shower. It helps to hydrate and also fortify my nails. And normally I have gels on, but I recently kind of took a break and I'm trying to just hydrate and nourish my nails and cuticles as much as possible. So I just do a small drop on my fingertips and then massage that into the nail bed and all the way around as well, so that my cuticles stay nice and hydrated. And whatever's left over, I'll just rub into my hands as well and follow with a moisturizer. This is a little thing that just feels like such a nice treat at the end of the day. Once my skincare is done and I have pajamas on, I feel a lot more relaxed and ready to settle into the evening. So I'm just gonna do a couple of little things to finish up dinner. First, I'm gonna go ahead and put those seasoned Brussels sprouts on the hot pan, and you're gonna hear a sizzle, which is like that initial contact where they immediately start to caramelize, and this just adds so much flavor. Before I went to wash my face, I turned off the heat and left the lid on so that the jackfruit would continue to absorb all of that sauce. Then I spread it into a thin layer and I popped this into the oven to really kind of caramelize and char around the edges and just dry out a little bit. To round out the meal, I like to serve some baked beans. I'm just using this can of baked beans from Whole Foods. This is vegan friendly, and I'm just gonna heat this up and serve it as a side. And for dinner, I'm just taking some Dave's Killer Bread hamburger buns. I'm adding the Violife cheddar slices. I'll put some thinly sliced red onion on top because I think the creaminess and the richness from the cheese plus the tangy, sharp flavors of the onion really work with the jackfruit. It just ties it all together in such a good way. I will put the jackfruit on top with a little bit more barbecue sauce, and just because I happen to have some chopped parsley in the fridge, I decided to do that as well, just for a little extra fresh flavor. Top your hamburger bun on top and push down a little bit, and you have the most delicious barbecue sandwich that is totally plant-based but very sort of like meaty and hearty. And I served this with the Brussels sprouts that in the last 5 minutes of cooking, I added some pecans, and as you can see, some of the bits get really charred and crispy, almost like Brussels sprout chips, and then the center of the thicker slices is still just like nice and tender, and the combination is so flavorful, especially with those crunchy pecans. I added my tahini sauce on top. This is my 1-minute tahini sauce. I will link that recipe below. Just adds a little bit of moisture and creaminess and kind of ties everything together, and this was dinner. We love watching a show with dinner, and recently we've been loving the new Only Murders in the Building. This is such a good show, especially if you're interested in like fall Halloween-y vibes but not anything too scary or serious. This is such a funny show. Also such a good thriller. Like, it's a not scary thriller where you really just want to, like, I'm so excited to find out what happens. And Meryl Streep and Paul Rudd are in this season too, so it's been great. I hope you enjoyed this video and that it gave you some good ideas. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to check out the link to try Typology in the description box below. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in a video very soon. Bye.